Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom from our studios at number 5 Owula Hansen Lane at Tesano. My name is Inosafo. Coming up. FDA begins investigations and suspends operations of Yellow CC Special Watcher joint at Oyibi following food poisoning incident. Meanwhile, husband of the owner of the joint confident investigations will clear his wife of any wrongdoing.
We want to cook rice, we eat with the shito or we eat with the wache stew. So we eat the same thing. We cannot kill ourselves. My children, they are all eating from this. So I don't think my wife will do this.
Pensioners Bondholders Forum say they are hopeful their request for an exemption from the government's debt exchange program will be granted following its meeting with former President John Agyekum Kufuor. Meanwhile, Individual Bondholders Forum continue to engage with the Finance Ministry in their quest for complete exemption for individual investors from the domestic debt exchange program. And later, former President John Dramani Mahama calls for adjustments to the government's domestic debt exchange program to safeguard the banking and financial sector.
The middle class of Ghana could be wiped out if plans to have them forfeit proceeds of government bonds on which they rely for investment and sustenance are followed through. In absolute terms, up to about 6 million people could be deprived of their life savings and investments.
Adonte Hine of Boem traditional area, who doubles as the chief of Jasekan in the Oti region, chastises the government over delays in development of the community.
Ebia mo voto amaye ebia mo voto amaye anye bia omunya ye nyina ya adwuma epe.
Let's settle for the details of our stories. The Food and Drugs Authority has suspended the services of the Yellow CC Watcher joint at Oyibi, which led to the death of one person and left over 40 hospitalized. According to the FDA, an environmental assessment of the food preparation sites located at Malajo and the 3 vending sites at Bush Canteen, Prison Joint and Sharp Curve Joint revealed poor food handling practices could have resulted in the contamination of the food, leading to the foodborne disease outbreak. The FDA said, in line with the Food Safety Emergency Response Plan, a joint investigation with the Ghana Health Service commenced immediately after the incident came to their attention. The victims, including the watcher seller, popularly known as Yellow CC, and some of her family members were rushed to the Valley View Hospital at Oyibi Hospital, Dodowa Hospital, and other facilities when they complained of severe stomach ache after they had eaten the food last week Friday. Still on that issue, husband of owner of the popular eatery Yellow CC Special Watcher at Oyibi has expressed worry over news reports suggesting food poisoning from his wife's food. According to him, he is of the firm belief that investigations will clear his wife of any wrongdoing. He, however, noted that it will be difficult for his wife to bounce back to the business due to the emotional trauma she has experienced. He spoke to Citi News on condition of anonymity after reports that 53 people were affected while one person had died following the incident. Fred Duho was in the community and has more.
According to news reports, a number of people ate from this particular eatery or food joint, a favorite watcher joint within the Oyibi enclave known as the Yellow CC Special. and a number of people who ate this food last Friday were hospitalized, basically based on some suspicion of food poisoning. The sack of charcoal you see in your shorts actually belongs to a woman. Her husband is the landlord of this particular piece of land where the yellow CC container, their favorite wache joint, is located. And the woman's husband actually consumed the wache on that fateful Friday morning, and unfortunately the man has passed. And so far we understand that the woman is in there, she already in blood apparel, and we've seen the assembly member also here trying to console her as to what really they are discussing. She's rather traumatized, and she's probably not willing to speak to the media. I can see her shaking her head in total pain because the husband has passed. You are the assembly member for this area. What's your full name?
My name is Honorable Abednego Afote Otu. I have received a news, and even now I'm going around to find out, to make sure that what the news that I'm hearing is true, because I know about only one person that have passed away. But now from here I'm moving to the hospital so that I will see. I'll find out that there's no actual what is going on. And I have went to the police station to get the information for the police station. But they too, if somebody have ate something and they give the food to the they send the food to to check and get the result. They say the result didn't come out yet, so they can't tell me this and this and this and that.
A number of people who also confirmed eating this food in the morning, and later in the afternoon they had issues, and that really landed them in the hospital and they were on admission. A number of them have since been discharged.
Last Friday I went and buy wache at Yellow CC, the junction there. So when I ate it, I bought it at 11 o'clock in the morning. Around 10 o'clock p.m., my stomach was, I was running, so I don't understand. I talked to my mom, and she gave me some medicine, so it calmed down for some time. But still, it was not good. So that time, I did not take it serious like that. So Sunday morning, and my mother asked me, and I said, I'm still running. And she took me to the hospital. So when we went to the hospital, and they give us some drip, yes, and I was okay, and we come back home. But still, when I take the medicine, I still feel the pain in my stomach, yes. So the running there now and there is okay.
Last week Friday and morning, and let's say as I buy the food, now don't feel anything. So around by 3 going, I started feel pain, be running and things. So for me, I think we just normal things. I come on with the chop, so maybe be running stomach. So let me go and buy coronium. As I buy the still another thing they come and say, oh, child, this one they no be no be running matter. So it be the point, maybe be the food we are go buy which I they bring me that problem. So my brother sent me to hospital and child.
Around what time were you sent to the hospital?
2 o'clock.
And when you got to the hospital, what was the situation and how were you actually admitted?
The hospital there, Charlie, plenty people there. For me, so I go meet plenty people for there. They were complaining the same. Charlie, we are go buy watch and blah blah. And I'm so okay. Charlie, meet with this. As I do the hospital for me, then I make weak. The LCC place there is very nice place, and for me, I'm very some way. If I go buy food where that the place no nice, there is no say me I go buy. But I will tell the woman, "Child, they come." As of what I see.
My dad called me. Was he was explaining to me that he also having the same problem. So he was the one that told me that maybe it will be the wachi. So I was at work, and then he told me that if I get palm oil, I should drink, because he has also drank his. And I drank mine. We went to the hospital.
Which hospital is this?
Valley View University Hospital, just around here. Yeah. And when we went there, they were like, the bed there is full up with patients like us. So how are you going to? And I told my dad we should come home and do a little bit concoction. So we came home, we grinded charcoal and stuff, trying to take out the toxins out.
So you never got the help from the hospital. You did your personal home stuff.
Yeah.
So now that you've heard about food poisoning, what's next for you when these people resume eventually?
If they will resume, yeah, that's their problem. But me, I'm not buying food outside anymore. Actually, right now, I just ate PC. I cook by myself.
Following the incident, we've come to the home of Yellow CC, the popular watch joint that normally plays by the roadside within the OEB enclave. And the information we've gathered so far indicates that the woman herself is currently at the hospital. But we are here to speak to the husband to either confirm or otherwise as to what really the situations are or the facts of the matter. What's your wife now?
My wife is gone for checkup.
What kind of checkup?
Oh, since she came, she have to go and visit the health professionals to see if everything is okay. So she went, and she's not yet home.
People are talking about it. How do you feel?
It is not interesting at all, because she has been doing this for a very long time. She has never had issue. Even as you've seen here, you see our house here. You can just testify. We don't live where there's filth. And we ourselves, we keep the things very neat. The pot they use to cook, look at it. Every time they finish cooking, they wash everything neat. There's nobody that will say, my wife is a bad person. When you ask them, ask them, how is the woman's behavior? They will tell you. She has no problem.
What do you intend to do for the people?
For the people affected, we will say sorry to them. And then, I don't know, if only they will find it in their heart to forgive my wife for whatever happened. We are just sorry. We are sorry for what has happened.
Is your wife having the health card as required by the laws for anyone to sell by the roadside?
Yes, my wife had. When they came, the health people came here, and then we showed everything to them.
This is food. Anything can go wrong on the part of anybody at all, from the sellers, from even those who prepare the food. Where do you think something might have really gone wrong?
That's for this. If I tell you, people ate the food in the morning and they said they have no issue, and other people ate it later the day and they had issue. My brother, you can know that something happened along the way. The same food that was served in the morning was continually serving till it got finished. So the same food along the way, we don't know what actually happened. Somebody might have done something or threw something somewhere. We don't actually can't tell. We don't know. Because if the problem were to start in the morning, they will say there's a problem with the food.
Is your wife having any issue with any of the workers?
No. It is the same food that we eat here in the house. If we want to cook rice, we eat with the shito or we eat with the white stew. So we eat the same thing. We cannot kill ourselves. My children, they are all eating from this. So I don't think my wife will do this, because even if the children don't go to bush canteen, the children eat from this place. So if she's going to poison this food, then she's going to kill everybody, including herself and her family.
Are you hoping to reopen soon after the investigations?
I don't think if my wife will get hurt to do the business again, even in case if she's cleared.
We understand the Food and Drugs Authority and the police were in this particular house to take sample of the food products that are left. We can see a number of containers here that they are using to preserve the hot pepper or the shito, and I can count not less than 10 of them in this particular room. And this, they've been asked not to dispose of them, because until the investigation is done, they would probably want to trace if indeed the food poisoning came from them.
My wife was admitted. The landlord's wife called my wife and say, Daddy is sick, oh, Daddy is also running. And my wife told her wife, his wife, to bring him to the hospital where she was, so that she will pay for her, for him, because the man is old. She doesn't have much resources. So my wife has taken him as a father. She's also from where we come from. So they are cool together. The man told my wife, Yellow, me okay. That day they finally agreed on the Monday to take him to the hospital. My wife could not even do anything, but she was forced to meet them there. It was there she called me and started crying that Daddy is gone. Oh. Daddy is gone. I told Daddy to go and treat himself. He refused. Look at what has happened. She was crying, and I said, you hold yourself, and then whatever you've taken there to help them, give it to the wife so that they will use it or add it to find a place to keep the body.
Man mentions that it's going to be difficult for them to bounce back, but in the interim, they are believing that everything will go well, and they are pleading with all their customers to forgive them no matter how difficult the situation is. My name is Fred Duho, reporting for Citi News.
Let's go to the Ashanti region now, because in a rather distressing and horrible manner, residents of Krofrom stood helpless as a group of young men butchered a 26-year-old to death in broad daylight on Wednesday, a situation that had left the community bewildered. However, in an interesting twist to the situation, some unidentified persons suspected to be friends and relatives of the deceased on Friday set fire to a family house of one of the suspects. Our Middle Belt Bureau Chief, Edward Opomafo, reports.
Martin Awuni, who witnessed the gruesome murder, has been narrating the incident to Citi News.
Last year, it was just about some fights, and then the guy that got killed last 3 days cut one of the guy's hand. I think he cut one of the guy's hand. But
The fingers.
But to their perception, I think the guy was able to settle them, and then so we all knew this case has gone and passed. And then I can really say they didn't come here to what you may call it, with the mindset of killing him. I think they wanted to do the same thing to him, but the fact that nobody was able to approach them and let them stop, then they started to callous the guy. So from here, the guy was standing here, and then he moved to this area, and all of a sudden one was coming from here, and then two was coming from here. So all what we could hear is tint.
So what weapons were used?
Calloused. Yeah, calloused.
So he was butchered. Is that a case?
He was butchered. Miserable. I don't even know how to use it.
How many people attacked him?
Four.
And you were around at the time. What were you doing?
I was afraid because the vim that they brought over here, nobody could even venture them. Because it was if you make a mistake and then you try to confront them, they can even hurt you. Because I remember a guy was trying to stop them, to cut his back. You get what I mean? So the only thing that we're trying to do is a revenge.
The family of the deceased is thus calling on the necessary authorities to ensure justice is served.
And I mean, Pessa, woman, not just a beer, the woman quarter. Now, Crana, the cry, yeah, I couldn't, yeah, Montima, I Chanua, Bassa, and Macuno, near whom. Of course, one Corvia would be idea, Nasa Bia, Quan Toqua, Nasa Bia and Toquanuca will hold that Daquana, also Prano, Nayan Kumuni Passa.
Some residents who witnessed the incident are calling on authorities to ensure the culprits are brought to book.
Yeah, we need to get them caught. You need to sentence them. Yeah, you need to sentence them. Because you can't just kill someone like that. They didn't do it secretly. We were all here. And they did it. That's so terrible. You get what I mean? So I want authorities to, try as much as possible to get them caught. We are also trying our best. Even this morning, we went to some of the areas to, but we haven't really get hold of them. And then not until we caught them, the guy's family is not going to, just sit there like that.
In what appears to be a reprisal attack, on Friday afternoon, some unidentified persons suspected to be friends and relatives of the deceased are alleged to have set fire into a building belonging to family members of one of the suspects. The Ashanti Regional Police Commander, DCOP Afobwachi Yadom, who visited the scene, urged residents to help the police fish out the perpetrators.
Muna munu omu ha muni baby omu she omu ye mu nuanom omu ye mu ofaase nom omu ye mu ma omu ye mu nananom muni omu nada muni omu redidi baby omu se bia mu ayen ni enchi won men primo bia famra nhyane nsem wa ha men primo bia famra nsem amra nhyane nsem wa ha eti obia onim baby omu se bia no mumra me office and now frame me baby I should be a member. Near show much on. Swamu tiemia for their own safety. Omumba reporto. Because baby almost said piano.
Residents here are still shocked following the incident, and they want authorities to ensure all the perpetrators are brought to book. For Citi News, I'm Edward upon Marful, Crowful.
Let's do some other stories now. The Pensioners Bondholders Forum says they are hopeful that their requests for an exemption from the government's debt exchange program will be granted following its meeting with former President John Agyekum Kufuor.
Pensioners who have bought government bonds are still stagnant in their decision for the government to exempt them from its debt exchange program. They lament their inclusion will adversely impact their livelihood. However, as part of measures to get their grievances addressed, the group has petitioned several stakeholders, hoping that their intervention will push the government to heed their demand. Key among them is former President John Agyekum Kufuor. After a courtesy call on Friday, January 27, 2023, the group remains positive that the former president's intervention will help the government to heed their demand.
We have sent a copy of the petition to the president, and we just followed up with that meeting. We arranged for a meeting and we gave us audience this afternoon, and we just went in and briefed him on what we are doing and sought his intervention and support for our cause. Well, he received our position happily. He expressed concern for our plight as pensioners. He's also an elderly person, and he knows what elderly people are going through. So definitely, we have his support, and he has promised to do what he can do to ensure that our petition is accepted or is positively, we get a positive feedback from government. So.
Meanwhile, the government has reached an agreement with the Ghana Securities Industry Association on the terms of the domestic debt exchange program. This was announced in a joint statement by the Ministry of Finance and the association issued on Friday, January 27. In the agreement, individuals who hold bonds in trust funds with the association approved terms will be offered any enhanced commercial terms agreed with or exemptions granted to individual bondholders. It's added that the solvency window of the Ghana Financial Stability Fund will provide support for the bondholders that are heavily affected by the exchange program.
The Individual Bondholders Forum continue to engage with the Finance Ministry in their quest for complete exemption for individual investors from the domestic debt exchange program. Citi News' Charles Owusukumi monitored a meeting with the finance minister on Friday.
The Domestic Debt Exchange Program, which invites domestic investors to exchange bonds amounting to about 137 billion Ghana cedis for new ones, is part of a broader debt restructuring by government to attain debt sustainability in order to access a $3 billion support from the IMF. The Domestic Debt Exchange has, however, been criticized and received lots of resistance from the investor community. Now, one of the groups who have resisted this exchange program and have asked for complete exemption are individual bondholders. Now, they have formed the Individual Bondholders Forum. Now, they have also been engaging the Ministry of Finance on ways to be able to exempt them. Today, they have met the minister himself, and after the meeting, we caught up with some of the leaders of the group.
We had a very fruitful meeting, and we are grateful to the minister for the audience and his commitment to engage. We went through the report, and I think one of the great things is that he found it very valuable and indicated it's something that Ghana must look into and help deal with the current crisis. But he also has short-term challenges, and we are reviewing, we are regrouping and reviewing. I'm sure you actually saw us engage more. We'll definitely be coming up with a communique on exactly what the position going forward is. But I think there's general consensus there about how unique the individual subsector is. We as a body, we fully support the whole DDE program. Our only problem is that involving individuals is going to be economically, socially catastrophic, and that is all that we are dealing with.
We also asked Senor what his expectations are, if he believes that at the end of the day, the individual bondholders are going to be exempted from the Domestic Debt Exchange Program.
We are going to support the government navigate this entire exercise as far as the broader national program is concerned. And also a lot of the proposals that we have put in, especially the fiscal readjustment proposals, the government has our full support on that. But particularly the involvement of the individual bondholders is not the position that we actually sign up to. So we'll share a communique and then give guidance to the broader public. I mean, we have a clear sense that the ministry is committed to doing that which is good for citizens, and we will work with them to make sure that happens.
Now, the deadline for the exchange program is the 31st of this month, and this deadline had already been extended 3 times. You get the sense that the individual bondholders and the ministry are both working together to find a solution before this deadline. For Citi News, Charles Owusukumi reporting.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still to come. Former President John Dramani Mahama calls for adjustments to the government's domestic debt exchange program to safeguard the banking and financial sector. We'll bring you the details of that and many other stories. Do stay.
A great journey lies ahead of us all, and we all have different paths carved out for us. No matter who you are and the path you're on, make sure you choose a partner you can trust, a partner with integrity who will always give you the support you need when you need it. No matter what you do and where you are in your journey in life, you are very significant, and so is the path you're on.
Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG, cherishes financial security as much as you do and shares the same values as you. That is why we are the right financial partner to stand with you. We are now one of the largest banks in Ghana, and we are ready to partner and work with you. CBG, we stand with you.
This
is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To me, Palmini, bank and I'm going to say Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my money. Just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050449999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
You're welcome back. Former President John Dramani Mahama has called for adjustments to the government's domestic debt exchange program to safeguard the banking and financial sector. The invitation to exchange all domestic bonds with new terms has been introduced by the government to create some fiscal space and avoid debt default as the country faces tough economic conditions. There's more in the following report.
The Minister for Finance, Ken Oforiatta, on Monday, December 5, 2022, launched Ghana's domestic debt exchange program with the hope of restoring the nation's capacity to service its debt. In the government's quest to address the country's ongoing economic challenges, the program invited holders of bonds to voluntarily exchange approximately 137 billion Ghana cedis domestic notes and bonds of the Republic, including ESLA and Dachi, for a package of new bonds. The domestic exchange program, since its announcement, has faced huge opposition from various quarters, including labor groups, which managed to get pension funds exempted. Other groups, including the Individual Bondholders Association, have also rejected the program. Speaking on the theme, Africa's strategic priorities and global role at Chatham House in London, the former President John Dramani Mahama called for adjustments to be made to the current form of the debt exchange program.
6 weeks from today, Ghana will mark 66 years of nationhood. Far from being an occasion to celebrate independence and the successes and achievements of nationhood, we will mark this day under the yoke of the worst economic situation arguably in our history. We're currently bankrupt and burdened with a national debt we are simply unable to pay. You may have learned over the past weeks that the Ghanaian government has defaulted on servicing of both external and domestic debt. There's currently a huge uproar over a controversial debt restructuring program, under which the middle class of Ghana could be wiped out if plans to have them forfeit proceeds of government bonds on which they rely for investment and sustenance are followed through. In absolute terms, up to about 6 million people could be deprived of their life savings and investments. Ghana's banking and financial sector could also be under threat of insolvency if no suitable adjustments are made to the debt restructuring plan.
Reacting to some infractions cited in the Auditor General's report on the government's COVID-19 expenditure that indicates that over 21 billion was mobilized for the fight against COVID-19, but only 5.5 billion Ghana cedis was used on health, John Dramani Mahama says government's failure to judiciously utilize the funds will affect future foreign aid to the country.
My own country, Ghana, once a beacon of Africa, has come up for mention for dissipating domestic and donor funds. A recently published audit report by the Auditor General of Ghana into receipts and expenditures on COVID-19 exposes staggering instances of corruption running into billions of Ghana cedis. Over 21 billion was mobilized to mitigate the impact of the pandemic from the World Bank, the IMF, the European Union, the African Development Bank, Ghana's own contingency fund, Ghana Stabilization Fund, and from the sale of Bank of Ghana COVID-19 bonds. Hiding under the emergency of the situation, government jettisoned our financial and procurement laws and refused to use the GIFMIS system, which is the agreed budget and accounting digital platform, to avoid thorough scrutiny of the use of the funds. Such financial malpractices discourage the delivery of grants and concessionary loans to Africa. I've indicated that we need a forensic audit into the receipts and expenditure of the COVID-19 funds in Ghana. The forensic audit may be extended to other countries in Africa to restore investor confidence as we build the Africa we want.
Now, the Adontenhene of the Boem traditional area, who doubles as the chief of Jasikai in the Oti region, Nana Ejetetek Pase Brantio VII, has chastised the government for politicizing development in the community. The chief bemoans that due to the inability of the New Patriotic Party to secure adequate votes in the recent elections from the area, most developmental projects in the community, including the proposed Agenda 111 District Hospital, have been abandoned by the government. The following report has more.
Ghana's healthcare infrastructure remains limited by the standards of developed nations, especially within the rural areas. Most public hospitals in these jurisdictions are often either overcrowded or underfunded, and in some instances with medical staff lamenting over the lack of resources for effective health service delivery, not forgetting the no-bed syndrome. Improving health outcomes requires a well-functioning delivery system of human and physical infrastructure. As part of his grand vision to improve the health sector, President Akufo-Addo announced the Agenda 111 policy, which seeks to provide 101 outstanding districts in the country with a hospital and 10 other specialized hospitals in the newly created regions. The assurance was that these health centers would be completed within 18 months after shortcutting in August 2021. Despite the allocation of about $20 million as mobilization funds to contractors of these projects and the injection of some funds secured for the fight against COVID-19, many of the contractors are yet to begin construction works on site. The minority members on the Health Committee of Parliament on Friday paid a visit to one of the sites at Jasikan in the Oti region to ascertain the level of work done. Prior to that, the group paid a courtesy call on the traditional leaders of the area.
Mama Jessica Konechi. Nebia one vote amaye. Ebia one vote amaye. Anye bi omunya ye nyina ya adwumbe epe. E besre won. Omu nkohwe contractors eye omu di adwuma no so hye omu nsa no. Mesre se eye omu nhwe mu kakra emaye. Na nyomu nyina na e wa adwumpa. Wahu na in a way the abide no de say why bribi o no all hwe baby nso na so no nipa o masoma no so nkoye adwuma no na onkoye ade o ma chance onkoye enti eye me de pass and then what to anamo amaba adwuma no de hwi nkoso enti mesrebo se mo be sorry ha akọ parliament no mo be buaye na yensu yano atibi.
The ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabna Minta Kando, says the minority caucus will not relent on efforts at ensuring a successful completion of the health facilities.
Jasikan municipality, Jasikan to be specific, and
Where we are is one of the sites for Agenda 111. According to our records, an amount of about 1.2 million US dollars has been given to the contractor, and just like you can all see, there's nobody at the site, and the money was given to the contractor as far back in January 2022. So we thought that by the time we get here, we could see progress more than we are seeing at the moment. And let me sound this warning that it's not as though we are doing a 9-day wonder, that we have been here and then they will discuss the issues in the media and that is all. We will come back. So we are calling on the powers that be that the contractors must report to site immediately. They must report. They have no excuse whatsoever. Monies have been given to them more than a year ago. I mean, I ask myself, if as an individual anybody has been given $1 million or $1.2 million for 1 year, I mean, this is big money. You can do business with it. And so I expect that the contractors will come back to site, and the government, the president himself, because this project is under the presidency, if indeed the money is still with the contractors and they've not gone back to take the money from them, then they must come back to site, because the people themselves are quite angry. They are very, very angry, and they don't deserve this. They deserve better than that.
Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ni Ayukwe Okain.
The Aswasi NDC Council of Elders, Imams, Zongo chiefs and other opinion leaders in the Aswasi constituency are calling on the National Democratic Congress party hierarchy to conduct broader consultation and reinstate Muntaka Mubarak as the minority chief whip in parliament. Speaking at a joint press conference at the Kumasi Central Mosque, the group said the decision is very unfair to persons in Zongo communities who are a critical voting bloc of the party. Our Middle Belt Bureau Chief, Edward Opon-Mafo, reports.
The decision by the leadership of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, to reshuffle its minority leadership in parliament is one that sharply divides opinions. The latest to oppose the decision are NDC Council of Elders, Imams, Zongo chiefs and other opinion leaders in the Asawasi constituency of the Ashanti region. Public Relations Officer of the Council of Elders of the Asawasi NDC, Yusuf Al-Hassan Umar, addressed the media.
We, the Council of Elders of Asawasi and the good people of Zongo, want to state emphatically that we disagree with NDC party on this reshuffle. The people of Zongo are very worried and disturbed upon hearing this unfortunate news. Honorable Muhammad Muntaka Mubarak has been a hard worker, a hard-working and humbly servant of the people of Asawasi in particular, and all people from Zongo at large. Honorable Muntaka is the best representative of the Zongo in the parliament, since we are the loyal and critical voting bloc of NDC. The NDC does not need this untimely distraction when we are heading to the polls, as it could affect party's future in the 2024 election. we are appealing to the NDC party top hierarchy to relook into the matter and conduct a broad consultation and reinstate Honorable Muntaka Mubarak.
Some other members who were at the joint press conference spoke to Citi News on why they want Muntaka Mubarak to be reinstated.
Honorable Muntaka Mubarak is a certain person who admires the Zongo community and helping them a lot when it's come to development. So for that matter, we know that it takes to lose him as minority chief whip. So we are appealing to the authorities and the party high rankings to revise their decision for Honorable Muntaka to remain the minority chief whip.
The various opinion leaders who have gathered here are of the view that reversing the decision is the best way of ensuring there's calm within the NDC. For Citi News, I'm Edward Oponmafo, Aswase.
Let's stay with the NDC a while longer because members of the party in the Volta region are divided over the reshuffling of the party's leadership in parliament. While some want a reversal and broader consultation, others say the timing is a bad one. There's more in this report by Citi News' Desmond Salasi Ago.
Despite the region being calm after the change in the minority leadership in parliament, some members in the region have varied opinions on the outcome of the NDC's national leadership decision on reshuffling its leadership in parliament.
The era in which we are, we need some particular individuals with some specific expertise to take up the leadership mantle. So for me, I feel it's a clarion call and a call in the right direction. For me, I feel it's a good call.
We've never experienced such a shake-up that transcends down to the grassroots before. We've never done it because oftentimes when the parliamentary reshuffles are done, what we know is that there's a consensus and everybody accepts it and then moves in that direction. But for the first time, the rank and file of the party has been shaken with this decision that have been taken from the national level. Looking at the timing, we have a lot of issues at hand now to be taking the government on, but it looks as if that is not of concern. The most important thing now is a reshuffle.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for the whole central constituency, Benjamin Kodo, says some NDC MPs are concerned with the timing of the reshuffling. He says a broader consultation is needed for such decisions.
The timing that there hasn't been any consultation or sufficient consultation, and then the timing we should now be putting our efforts up against the MPP rather than make room for this kind of division to be coming up among us. So we are concerned about the timing. But as for changes, they have been there. After all, these people who are now our leaders also came to replace some others. You see the point. So that's how politics is. And it is the role, the responsibility of the party, according to the standing orders, to determine who are leaders of their MPs, their caucus.
Despite the region still being calm after the reshuffling of the minority leadership in parliament, some members of the NDC in the Volta region say they want a broader consultation to be taken, while others also say the decision by the national executives is final. Reporting for Citi News from the Volta Regional Capital Hall, I'm Desmond Salasiago.
This is still the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV, still ahead. Traders whose shops sit on a basement that was temporarily used to store water for the construction of the Nungwa market appealed to authorities to fill it up to avert a disaster. We'll bring you the details shortly. Do stay with us.
can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
Pepsodent is aware that globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up and thrive at every stage of her life with a healthy and confident smile, so she can succeed and achieve all of her dreams. Because every smile matters.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. Now, traders whose shops sit on a basement that was temporarily used to store water for the construction of the Nungwa market are appealing to the Krowa Municipal Assembly to fill it up to avert a disaster. They lament they live in fear as their shops might cave in some years to come. Hence, an immediate intervention will prevent any casualty. The following report has more.
Beneath this wooden covered shed is a dingy, gloomy basement filled with water. This basement was once used as a temporary storage facility for water by the contractors who built the Nungwa market in Accra. The initial reason behind the basement was to fill and cover it up after it served its purpose, but that has not been done years on. Shops have, however, been built on and around it, with owners raising concerns about a possible tragedy.
The challenge we are having now is time is going, years have gone, and we are seeing signs of cracks. We know of this school. There's a school, a preparatory school, some years back, where they were having a similar thing like that could have killed children, school children, even children. And sometimes people come here, when we have goods, we carry it here, heavy goods, we walk here and then bring it. We are afraid because nobody knows when this thing will collapse or anything. So we have made several efforts. In the authorities, we have a management board here, the market management. We have talked to them. They are chairman. He has come to give us his word that he will make sure they will do it for us. My sister too has spoken to the MCE. Everybody, they will come and see it, and they will say that yes, it is something that has to be done. So they will give us their word. When they go, they won't come again.
Juliana Borte's shop sits on the covered basement. She expressed unwillingness for her shop to be demolished to get the problem fixed. Describing the situation as a death trap, Mrs. Borte laments her workers live in fear and that countless efforts to reach the appropriate authorities to solve the challenge has proved futile.
Don't know when this thing will go inside. Since they didn't prepare, they didn't build it to last for long. They thought they were doing something temporary to take care of their buildings. And they have finished and they are gone. We are ready. When they come and they want to break it, even they were saying, some were saying that they have even to remove their toppers, whatever they want to do to fill it for us. So that when we are walking, we will walk comfortably and we will know that we are safe. That's all we are calling for. We don't want any situation where a customer is coming and something bad has happened, or a worker is coming, or the earth has opened and there's water in it too. Because they are using it for business, all the time there's water in it.
For the chairman of the management board at the Nungua market, Eric Bote, the lack of financial muscle is a major reason why the situation has not been fixed. It, however, pleaded with the Krowa Municipal Assembly to come to their aid.
The number of people came to this office. They have been here about more than two times. At a point, they told me that I should go and tell them, the shop owners, that they will be coming on 2 occasions. That was last year. It's about 6 to 8 months now. On both occasions, they didn't turn up. And the reason why we tend to rely on them is that we don't have the resources. Apart from that, technically, we are not qualified to do that. So we are hoping against hope that the Assembly will mobilize the needed resources to come and seal the place because it's too dangerous.
Meanwhile, the municipal works engineer at the Krowa Municipal Assembly, Benson Opong, has called for patience as measures have been put in place to salvage the situation. In an interview with Citi News, he indicated that it will, by close of Friday, January 27, 2023, finalize its assessment of the place to determine its next line of action.
The issue reported to the Assembly, to my Chief Executive, I went there with my Chief Executive. The preliminary investigation revealed that it is not a well, rather it is a basement covered with water. So we have assessed the situation, and then first and foremost, you have to look at the sources of water because they are anticipating that the water is coming from the ground. Others are also people have connected it through Ghana Water. So upon assessment, we are here to contact Ghana Water, come there, assess the situation, and know the necessary measures to be taken so that human lives will be saved.
And that's it for today's edition of the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to CitiTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182. My name is Inosafo. Many thanks for watching.